Hey everyone, it is the first Tuesday of the month, and for those of you who come to the channel on a rag, y'all know that it is time for RPG Elite Philosophy for Life. Thank you for coming through on the channel today. Now we're going to be looking at RPG Elite quality number 5, which is RPG Elite, do not play with any and everyone. As a matter of fact, this one is so important, I put it in the top 3. I've mentioned this before on the channel. There are 10 RPG Elite philosophy qualities. And if you haven't seen those videos, maybe you're new, this is first time coming, I'll put a link in the description below so you can go ahead and go through the playlist and kind of click through to see what each RPG Elite philosophy quality is. And we're going to apply this to life because these qualities that we're going through again, but applying it to our lives, this is where the RPG Elite philosophy for tabletop RPGs actually came from. This is the foundation of it that we're going through now. Now, I'm supposed to be writing a book about the RPG Elite philosophy and putting that all in, a book. I don't know whether I will include this part of it or make it a separate book. Who knows? I don't know what the Lord has in store right now, so we'll see what happens. Now, if this is your first time coming to the channel, then I want to thank you for coming through and welcome you. I'm Servant of Shiloh, and this is RPG Elite. This is a place where I focus on putting the RP back into tabletop RPG, tabletop role-playing games, y'all. This is what we cover on this channel. And how I do that is I give you tools and I give you tips, I give you tutorials, I give you real talk. That's what we're going to talk about today. Real talk about the tabletop RPG space and culture. Now this is going to be a multi-part series because, as I said, this is one of the top 3 qualities and it is so crucial when it comes to applying it to your life. So important. And I can't get done with it in one video. So let's move into this right now by taking a look at a reality that, for reasons that is very odd, though I do know why, it's uncomfortable for people, and yet it's a reality still. The reality is that no one is obligated to have you in their lives. Now, I'm going to be doing some parallels with the actual RPG Elite quality for tabletop RPGs. And so let's do a comparison. It's the same as saying nobody's obligated to play with you and have you at the table. They're not. Now, that is very uncomfortable for people for reasons that I wouldn't even know. Yes, I do, but I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. These people complain normally if you say that. If you say, well, I don't have certain people at my table, then they will be like, oh, well, they're just gatekeeping. Or, oh, they'll start calling you names, and all the rest of this stuff. All right. RPG Elites do not play with any and everyone. And as far as applying that to life, we do not have any or everyone become part of our lives. You can see how this is intertwined together, right? Because that would include tabletop RPG sessions by de facto. Since that is the case, we won't include people, we won't play with certain people in our session. There's people that we will exclude, or we ourselves will exclude ourselves. We just won't play with those people. Now, get a right definition of gatekeeping. That's not gatekeeping. That is adults making decisions for themselves. And that, for many people, and I'm not just talking about in the tabletop RPG space now, I'm talking about life. If I don't want you in my life, and I make a decision not to have you in my life, and people get all bent out of shape and offended by that. In tabletop RPGs, they go, man, oh, you're gatekeeping, you're this, you're that. And no, I'm just making a decision. And my decision is that I don't want to have you. Let's go back to tabletop RPGs. And let's say somebody said, to me that, you know, well, you can't come to our table because we don't allow Negro. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, peace. See, because they are not obligated to have me at their table, regardless of whatever the reason is behind it. And it might be an offensive reason. They might be ethnically prejudiced and just don't want Negroes at their table. All right. Now, is that odious? Of course it is. It's sinful, but hey, they do not need to have me at their table. And I'm not going to go on my channel and I'm not going to be like, oh, well, they're evil and they're this and they're that and they're this. I'm going to tell you guys what's up. I would tell you guys, yo, this is what's up. Here's my experience. So if you want to go over there, I want you to go in with an informed decision because this is how they are. Now, I don't know the intentions. Maybe they're not ethnically prejudiced. Oh, shoot. Are you serious? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they just want all Hispanics at the table because they're just trying to branch out into the Hispanic community with tabletop RPG. And so, no, we're not allowing Negroes, and maybe they ain't allowing anything but Hispanics. And preferably people who are Hispanic, who are new to the tabletop RPG hobby. That could be. I don't know. But here it is for me, folks. I don't care. I don't care what the reason behind that is. I don't care. They have the freedom to make that kind of decision. And I'm not going to get it bent all the shape out. I mean, for me, it's out of sight, out of mind. But for most people, you know, they would form a crusade and try to crucify those people and all the rest of that, try to cancel them and all that. That's wasted energy. That's not worth my time. That's why I don't get into Twitter wars and all the rest of that stuff. Not worth my time to spend it on. Don't want me? Fine. I'll move on. That's how you handle it as an adult, not as a narcissistic infant. Now, regardless of the reason or reasons why somebody would not want to have you as a part of their lives, there is wisdom in separating from people. There is wisdom. It's ancient wisdom, and it's wisdom that's found in the Bible. So I want to take you to a verse that's speaking directly to what we're talking about here today from 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Let's take a look at it. It says here, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Now we're just going to focus on that first part. Do not be deceived. Now this first part here is an imperative. And it is also imperative. Let's break that down. For it to be an imperative means that it is a command. So for Christians, it is a command. Do not be deceived. We're getting ready to come back to that. On the other hand, it is imperative, meaning in the descriptive sense, it is of vital importance. This is of vital importance for your life. This is of vital importance for your life. Not only as a Christian, this is across the board. Again, this is a universal truth. It doesn't matter if you are a Christian or not. Anybody with an iota of sense who is looking at this knows, yeah, that's true. In the very least, this has been around for millennia because this is when the New Testament was written. And then it's been around actually longer before that. It's been around as long as human beings have been here. So you have to watch who you are going to hang out with. But again, we're not going to focus on that so much. We'll get into a little bit of it in this video. In the next video, we're really going to break that down. We're just going to focus on that first part. Do not be deceived. That imperative, that thing that is of vital importance. And it's not just for Christians, even though this is towards Christians. This is for everybody and for your life. So how is it that we can not be deceived? What do we need to do? Are there things that we can do so we are not deceived? Of course there are. Of course there are. And we're going to focus on them. We're going to focus on 3 things today that you can be, that you can cultivate within yourself so you are not deceived, so you don't have the wrong kind of people coming into your life. The first one is we need to be discerning. Be discerning. So what does that mean? Because these 3 terms are going to be kind of the same, but there's nuances between them that are so important that you have to understand the nuance, because there's a kind of order that you need to do this in. And the first one is to be discerning. Discerning means that you need to take notice. You need to observe. You need to pay attention, especially when it comes to the people that you are around and you need to be paying attention to them. You need to be paying attention to the kind of people that they are. This is important. And I'm not talking about how the kind of person that you would like them to be. This is not optimism. This is realism. This is looking at things as they are. We're not looking at potential. We're looking at things as they are. We're not looking at intentions. We are looking at actions. That's it. That's all we're doing. So you need to be discerning. You need to be paying attention. You need to be observing. You need to be noticing things. That's the first step. The second step is to be analytical. Now, what does it mean to be analytical? Well, to make an analysis is to separate things into its foundational parts, right? And to look at things, break it down, make an analysis, break it down. All right. So it's the same thing with allowing people into your life. You need to be paying attention to them, and then you need to be analytical. You need to break down. Okay, they do this, they do that, they do this, they do that, this, that. You can't make an analysis of anything if you're not being discerning. There you go. So all of this stuff is tied together. So first you have to be discerning. Second is you have to be analytical. Break it down. And then the last one, which is a word that just gets bent out of shape for no good reason. For no good reason at all. And it's because we use it in a certain way that gets people's hackles up every time that you use it, but it actually means something. The next thing is to be discriminating. And let's just break it down and make it real simple. It means to make a judgment, to make a judgment. So let's break that down, y'all. We have to pay attention. We have to notice things, right? And then we have to break it down into its constituent parts, right? And then after that, taking all of those things that we've discerned and that we've analyzed, we make a judgment. You need to do this with people in your life. It is amazing to me that people will do those very things that I just talked about for the most trivial things in their lives. Like if they're going shopping for something like a television, for crying out loud. And they'll do all kinds of looking at the stats and what it can do and, breaking it down by price and size and all the rest of this. They'll do that for a stinking television, and yet they won't do it to the people who can affect their lives and character. And by doing that, affect how they live, how they think, their mental state. And we're going to get into that into the next video. Being picky with who you allow into your life is just wise. It's just wise. My suggestion is DTA. What does that mean? Don't trust anybody until they have proven that they can be. Don't trust anyone until they've proven that they can be. This is crucial. And in the interim, you need to be doing the things that we talked about. Be discerning, be analytical, be discriminating. You need to do them in that order, because you'll probably find yourself putting people in certain areas, right? And people will be like, but they're my friends. Oh, you need to stop using that word so flippantly. We use that word so flippantly. We'll talk about this next month as we go over the second part of that verse, because it's extremely important, y'all. Now, I realized as I was practicing for this that this is going to be at least 3 videos, but possibly 4. When I originally did this for tabletop RPGs, it was 2. But as we're doing it, as applying it to our lives, it is way more important. So I'm going to expand on this bad boy. And plus, I like to give you guys practical things that you can do. And in order to do that, we're going to lengthen this out a bit. So look forward to learning more about the RPG Elite Quality for Life number 5 for the next few months. Hey, if you got any value out of this video at all today, then you can do a brother a solid, can't you? You can go with that little thumbs up there at the bottom of the video and just crush the like button. Also, I don't know what's going on. Also, hey, if you want to stick around, I come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday, God willing. So if you want to stick around with the RPG Elite fam, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell on top of that. The question of the vid today, I'm going to try to put it as a question, but it's going to be a little bit long in my explanation here. So here goes. Out of those 3 things that I talked about in this video, the discerning, the analytical, the discriminating, which one are you the strongest and which one are you the weakest? Now, this is what I want you to do in the comments. I want you to put from weakest to strongest in order in the comments, those 3. So I don't want just 2. I want a tally down, all 3 of them. So starting from the weakest, actually, which one are you the weakest in? And go down to which one you think you are the strongest in. And I'll talk about this more in next month's video when we go and focus more on the second part of that verse that we talked about today and how we really need to take that to heart and the reason why we need to take that to heart, or actually reasons why we need to take that to heart. All right, that's it, folks. I'm done. I got to get out of here. That means it's time to do my snaggle post.
So exit, stage left.
Hey y'all, if you got a game this week, happy gaming. I pray it is an RPG Elite session. And so next time, God willing, folks, I'll see you on Friday, classic tabletop RPG time. So until then, my brother's got to say, peace, 5,000 elites. Your boy servant is outie.